Super excited for this, guys. Today, I've got with me the one and only Joe Ferrer out of Houston, Texas, right?
Houston, Texas, yes.
Yep.
I actually live in League City, but League City is a suburb on the southeast part of Houston, close to Galveston, the coast. So I live literally about 3 miles from the coast. That's where I live.
Awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on, Joe. I'm super excited for everybody tuning in. For those that may not be aware of who you are and where you're at, obviously Houston, Texas market, but I'm sure there's a lot of cities, surrounding cities that you service outside of Houston, right?
Oh, that's correct. Well, you know, the greater Houston area has got several pocket cities like Pearland, Sugarland, Katy, Humble, Cypress. I mean, League City is a city in itself where I live. So when we say greater, we really mean greater Houston, and it's so massive. It's like 60 miles in every direction. How big my market truly is.
Do you know how many agents are in your market?
About 50,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane how many agents service this market. But that 50,000 mark, because I'm part of the Houston Association of Realtors, which is our MLS. And that encompasses from about, it's not just the greater Houston area. That goes from as far north as College Station, which is about a 2-hour drive north of Houston, to about a 2-hour drive south of Houston, which is a city called Victoria. So if you can imagine, you're probably looking at 300 square miles in every direction.
More than enough.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, we do probably, there's about maybe 4,000 closings per week.
Wow.
In our MLS.
Crazy.
So when you figure that out, it's a lot of business going. It's in the billions.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So, Joe, how long have you been in business? Obviously, you're a broker associate as well, right?
Yep, that's correct. Got my broker's license here in 2023. The main reason I did that was for the educational, to really separate myself from the rest of the agents. And because I'll tell you, the public looks at brokers a lot different than agents. I've come to find that out by getting my broker's license. So that was one of the driving forces to bring more value to my clients with more expertise.
Got it. And how long?
So what's that?
How long has that been?
Oh, not long. I've been a broker now about 2 months.
2 months. And then in total, how long have you been in the industry?
5.5 years. So I got my license in late September of 2017.
Got it. Okay. Wow. Okay. So you've seen the different market then. Because when I joined too, back in 2019, it wasn't like that market still, but it was still a lot slower than the 2020, 2021 market. So.
Comparing to 2018, 2019 were great markets. They were fun. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad we're going back to that market.
Yeah.
It was much more fun to do business in.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you. What have you been with the same brokers the entire time, or?
No. So a little backstory. I have a degree in chemical engineering. I worked in sales and marketing my whole entire career. I got to see the world, got to deal with pretty much every society out there, everybody around the world, from the Middle East to Asia to Canada, Latin America. I mean, I've done business with everybody, essentially. So my wife is a mortgage broker. She's been in the mortgage business, owns her own company. I've been at that for about 25 years. And she says to me, you complain about how you've hit a glass ceiling and there's no more to gain by doing what you do. And you always talk about wanting to have your own business. And I said, oh yeah, I really want to do that. He said, why don't you get your real estate license? Get my real estate license. Okay. So I go and do that. And of course, you have to hang your license under a brokerage. And I joined Berkshire Hathaway. And the reason I joined them, because my wife knew a broker, was a friend of hers, and I liked her, and she was nice. And I went to work for them. And then lo and behold, in 2018, I discovered eXp Realty. And how I discovered eXp Realty was I saw an article in Inman News Inman was interviewing Gary Keller, and Gary Keller was saying that he was going to have to spend all this money to keep up with this market disruptor called eXp Realty. And one of the things I love is market disruptors. I'm a very forward-thinking kind of guy. And when I was like, holy eXp, I didn't even know them back in those days. There was nobody. They were next to nothing here in this market. Maybe I think they were 200 or 300 agents in this market in those days. So I went to a lunch and learn, heard the whole spiel, liked what I heard, and moved my license to eXp, and that was 2018. So then I changed here in 2023 to LPT.
So Sarah, so overall, it sounds like Sarah got you into the industry because you were bitching and moaning.
yeah, she did. And you know what? I wish I'd have done it sooner. Really do, because I'm really having a great time.
I feel like a lot of people say that, man. Me too. Like, it's just, yeah. I wish I got in sooner too. Like, I know some agents that got in when they were like 18 years old. I'm like, man, I'm jealous, and they're still around right now. So
for sure. I've always had a very entrepreneurial spirit in me. That's why I got into sales and marketing. I have an engineering degree, and people say, well, you're going to be a plant engineer. I'm like, no. I did that for a little bit, and I hated every minute of it. And then I got into sales and marketing, and I loved it. I mean, absolutely loved it, because my entrepreneurial, thinking out of the box, solving problems, helping people solve problems, and of course, a transaction in the middle of it. But the transaction is really not that important. It's just helping people. That's always been my philosophy, is being a connector.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's what real estate's about. What obviously you made the switch recently over to LPT Realty. For the audience that may not be familiar with LPT Realty, can you give me 3 things that intrigued you the most, that made you switch from a brokerage that you were with for the last 4 years, right? Like, that was definitely a big jump for you.
Yeah, it was. It was a strong jump. Of course, being in this business a long time, I'm hit up by every brokerage under the sun. And the way I look at this business, I'm a business owner. So I don't look at it as I'm putting money in my broker's pocket. I want to put money in my pocket. That's why I do this. That's what I care most about. And so when I saw the LPT model and I looked at it very closely, one of the driving forces was the financial side of it, the ability to choose your commission structure. How revolutionary is that? I mean, no other brokerage I know of that. I mean, yeah, you can go to maybe Keller Williams, somebody, and negotiate maybe a different split, but you're stuck with that split. Here, and same with eXp, we're stuck with that split. So I said, oh man, I got this one option. I can be a business builder at like 100% brokerage, because I looked at those too back in the day, the 100% ones, and none of them made sense
for a while.
Huh?
100%'s been around for a while. So
for sure. I mean, you got tons of brokers out there that offered that split, but none of them really provoked my mindset. So I looked at that. I also thought about the value that my current the past brokerage that I was at, eXp Realty, brought to the table for me, and it had really just whittled down to, I mean, I was essentially running everything on my own. They just took care of my transactions, all that eXp came down to. And I know there's going to be some eXp agents reach out to me about that comment. That wasn't utilizing the full value of the brokerage, but trust me, I did. I was there, a long time. And nothing negative about eXp. They're great people. I got a lot of friends there. Glenn Sanford was a revolutionary guy that just changed the whole model. So the financial thing was the big thing when I looked at what I did in last year and what I paid out to eXp and what that cost me. Then I looked at the LPT model and said, wait a minute, this is thought provoking. And then my wife, being in the mortgage broker, the second reason is the personality, Robert Palmer. When I told my wife, hey, Robert Palmer is heading this up, she said, oh my God, I know that guy. He is a marketing guru guy, big time marketing guy. He is going to, and everything he touched turns to gold. He's a very driven guy. He built RP Funding. He said, you need to look further into this. So that was one of the things, the personalities, because that's important. You should, look who the business founder is. What are they about? What's their background? To agents that are out there, that's one of the things you should consider. That is important. I don't think I would have moved my license to somebody that, didn't have a good, strong background in the business. So that was probably the biggest. Second thing was who Robert Palmer was.
Yeah, to dive deeper into that, Joe, sorry to cut you off because I know you just put a lot of information out there and I want to dissect it a little bit. So to dive deeper into that, I totally agree with you on that too. I think leadership is like a super important thing to look into, right? And that was one of the first thing I did as well, was just curious on like, all right, who's actually leading the company? Everything sounds phenomenal, right? And when I started looking into it, and I was like, holy smoke. So he's been in this industry for the past 20 years in different fields, different parts, mortgage, title, and then real estate marketing, right? And that's where it's like, all right, so he's got a proven track record of building companies. And then I started chatting with agents in Florida, asking a little more questions, and like, yeah, he's like a legend down there. And yeah, so that's definitely something I recommend agents out there to look into, because there are companies out there that I have looked into, leaders that were similar to eXp's model, but I was like, all right, I'm not leaving eXp for this model that where the leader hasn't really proven the track record of building successful real estate companies, right? So that's definitely important.
Well, yeah, you bring up an interesting comment, right? We all know we don't need to drop the name of who it is, but there was another cloud brokerage that got started up, 2019 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they were essentially a mirror of eXp, because you think, well, why didn't you move to them if you were thinking, you wanted to make a move? I said, well, they were just a me too, and the financial didn't really make sense. It was not worth the move at all. So the third thing is the value proposition that LPT brings to the agent. Because one of the things I learned at eXp, and God help me, the comments I'm going to get on this, there's a lot of things that eXp agents don't want to talk about, is the turnover at eXp is pretty high. And the reason that is because I was a mentor, and I also had some people in my downline, but the big struggle that I always had is keeping people, especially new agents, because they'd come in, buy into the whole revenue share, the whole 9 yards of the eXp model, and you know how it is in this business. Most agents don't sell anything for 3 to 6 months. And during that time, they're clipping money out. They're paying money out to the brokerage every single month in that monthly fee. Plus they pay out to join the brokerage, right? And that cost them. So when I saw the value proposition to give agents options that can get into this business where they're at, wherever that may be, a new agent, experienced agent, and you can choose different compensation plans. We essentially have 3. We like to talk about the 2, but there's actually 3. But the affiliated brokerage one is a powerful one for those that have their own brand and don't want to give up their brand. And a lot of agents, and I certainly haven't heard many LPT agents talk about this, but there's 3 compensation. I'm thinking, what huge value is to that to bring to the agent to actually, as a business owner, I mean, we have to hang our license somewhere. And of course the question comes up, Joe, you're a broker, you can go on your own. And certainly I could do that. But it's better as a broker to plug and play. LPT has the systems in place. I don't have to design the systems. They have the playbook. I just have to plug into the playbook, which is another, I mean, that's part of the value proposition, that LPT has a great playbook with great systems already in place, some of the best. And we're also the one thing that Robert Palmer that really, really stuck with me, and this is the point I want to really get to agents. I'm going to provide you the best in class tech marketing, because I want to keep you, and I want to keep you happy. I don't want to have a high turnover rate in my business. I want to make sure I'm providing the value that helps you grow your business. And that goes back to the different models, because he doesn't want to make money if you're not making money.
Yeah. That's like such a game changer. When I heard him say something like, I don't believe in making money when my agents aren't making money. And that goes to what you're talking about. There's literally no sign-up fees, no desk fees, no tech fees, no monthly fees whatsoever. You just pay when you close your first transaction, and that's it. And that's, to me, was such a game changer. And to go back to your first point, actually, too, one of the things you talked about with, the 100% model aspect, the interesting thing that I saw, there are actually 100% brokerages that are joining LPT as well, because our 100% model is superior in a couple ways. One, there is no monthly fees. Other 100% models usually has some sort of monthly fees. And two, they usually don't provide any value add in those 100% models, such as the CRM, the marketing, all that stuff that we get for free as LPT agents, right? So I've seen 100% models actually be enticed to join LPT because of that as well. So that's really interesting, just seeing that, how it's a, and we call it the brokerage for life, right? And it's truly is, from what I've experienced so far.
Oh, that's true. So I went to the conference, and that's, I bet you there. We met up at the conference, right? And one of the impressive things that really took me back, because being at eXp so long, and I went to their conferences and things like that, is that the out of the box thinking that Robert has versus other people. Not to say that the other business leaders out there are not great. They're fantastic by far. Yeah. But he, to see Zillow come on stage. I mean, Zillow's their own brokerage, by God, and he's got a relationship with them. That is, I mean, you would not see Zillow show up on stage at eXp, Keller Williams, or whoever. They would not be there. So that took me back. And then all the media types, how he's
that was crazy.
All the media types. Yeah, that was amazing.
Like, to name drop, I think one was Ion Network, which is the 5th largest television network throughout the US, if not global. They've been around for ages. And then you also had iHeartRadio, the president of iHeartRadio up there. And then and what he's doing with the sports is very intriguing, because sports communities got their own communities, and it brings people together, right? And even myself, I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I'm like, oh, I want to tune in because it's got LPT all over it. And just combining, because he even has affiliations with sports leagues. And it's just like you said from the beginning too, the relationships are everything, right? And it's just having these relationships put in place to the point where they can even come on stage and just share some of the stuff that's coming in the works is insane.
Oh, for sure. And then that's just different. I guess the evolution of the brokerage business, right, from the traditional going back in the 70s and 80s to the tech-enabled agent. And what I understand about the plan here is going to be the marketing-enabled agent. Is really the focus of the organization, the brokerage that Robert puts out there, that he wants us to be, which I totally agree with. I think what a powerful thing. Yeah, tech is great. We both can agree that tech's very important, but to enable your agents to get your message out there to the clients and consumers is very powerful. Yeah. And to my knowledge, I don't think that there's any brokerage doing that.
No, not that I've seen. Never to the point where it's this easy in regards to marketing being provided and efficient, and it's super cost efficient too. Like, it's insane, some of the stuff. Because and the interesting thing that I'm curious on what's going to happen is, obviously we formed during a tough market, right? And as other brokers are struggling, we came in during a tough market. I'm curious on what it's going to look like during an amazing market, where it's just everything is ready to go. And the marketing that I've had before from past brokerages, they weren't anything close to this. It's just night and day. And just the stuff that they got coming out, where it's going to automatically post for us as well, have everything ready to go for new listings, pending, sold, agents joining, like just simple little things here and there that us agents procrastinated about on a daily basis. Myself, like, just simply, I've always wanted to, go door knock because I know how efficient it is, but I always procrastinated on creating marketing pieces part. So now this is just plug and play, and it's hard to replicate too, because for other brokerages, they don't own print facilities. So
yeah, no, that was a surprising thing, no doubt about it.
Like, Robert owns print facilities, right? So that's where LPT has that slight edge, and it all takes that little slight edge. And people are always curious, like, how is he doing it for free? Well, we own the print shops, and they've had all these material just sitting there anyways, right? So super cool.
Well, I totally agree with you on the marketing X, but that's one of the hard part of being in a real estate agent. No question, that's a challenging, because there's so many shiny objects out there that a lot of agents get confused. Which way do I go? What do I do? What do I do? Which way do I go? So when you have a business leader that says, hey, I'm going to provide you what I have found, because I've been in this business so long, to be the best tools to approach marketing, and I'm going to provide you that at essentially next to no cost. That is That's a heck of a statement to make.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, man. So for the audience that's listening, obviously the last 6 months has been a little different market, right?
Mhm.
And we've seen a lot of agents leave. We've seen new agents struggle, even experienced agents struggle. What golden nugget or what one advice would you give them, if you were in their shoes?
Okay, that's a great question. That's a great question to unpack. Here, being in the business so long, and I've tried many,
Oh,
many
one
things.
thing, one thing I just thought about, Joe, that we didn't cover in the beginning. You're also in the commercial space.
Yeah,
So
work in a commercial space.
so Joe's got a ton of experience, residential and as well commercial. But yeah, he's seen a lot. Go on. Like, what one advice would you give? Because I just wanted to throw that in there too.
Well, since you brought that up, the reason why. So let me just unpack that for a minute. People used to say, well, Joe, what are you going to specialize when you get in this business? And I thought, what do you mean special? You're going to specialize in waterfront? You're going to specialize in condominiums? And my comment was, I am going to specialize in the deal. I'm going to specialize in helping people, putting together a great deal that's beneficial for all parties. That's what I want to specialize in. Because the way I saw it, if I specialized in like waterfront, what if the waterfront market tanks? Well, my business tanks too. So it's called diversification. It's not putting all my eggs in one basket. So that's why I got into the commercial and residential space.
Got it.
And for interested agents, I'll be happy to share on what it takes to get into the commercial space, because it's not one of the easier spaces to get into. So the back to the nugget. The nugget that I would say, certainly with this changing market, first off, don't get fearful. We're actually going back to a normal market.
Yeah.
We really are.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it too. It's just becoming a normal market, like how it was in 2019.
Yeah, exactly. But and a lot of our competitors are slacking back because, well, quite honestly, the last 2 years it was easy. Get me put a house on the market, it sold within minutes, which it did because I had multiple experiences of that. I would say probably the biggest thing that outbound marketing has proven. It's one of the things I kind of neglected when I got into this business. I bought Zillow leads, I bought Google pay-per-click, I bought a whole different Facebook, and come to find, and I'm not talking about I spent $2,000-$3,000 a month, on that. I spent a significant deal, and I have come to find out, and I follow a lot of different people in this business, people that I trust, and they kept always saying outbound marketing. I said, I don't want to be a cold caller, blah blah blah. I don't want to bug people. That was in the back of my head, and I'm like going. Now that I've been doing it for so long, I was like, why in the heck did I fear this? Yeah, do people get upset at you? Yeah, but you know what? They're not really upset with you. They're just upset.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
The fact you called them at an inopportune time, but that's the best marketing there ever is to call people that have their hand raised to want to do something and then present your best case of why they should do business with you. Instead of sitting back and waiting for, like, let's say a lead source like Zillow for the phone to ring. Like I was a Zillow Premier agent. Don't recommend that today. Agents, don't become Zillow Premier agents. Many reasons why. But so you have to wait for the phone to ring. That to me is just sitting back and what if that phone don't ring? What if that you don't get that lead source? You can find yourself where you don't have any business, and it puts you totally in a roller coaster way. Well, at least with outbound marketing, it's you're engaging the business. You're pursuing the business. And that's something that I should have took up from the get-go. If I was to go talk to myself 5 years ago, I was like, Joe, how did you do this from the get-go? Because life was much better because another problem I had is I was way too buyer heavy. As you can imagine, having a wife that's a mortgage broker, you tend to chase the buyers a lot. Yeah. Well, you can't scale that very easily. You just can't. There's only so many buyers you can handle in a given month. And you get that phone call at 4:00 in the afternoon that says, hey, I want to go see some houses this afternoon. Are you available? And then you look at your schedule and you're ready to have another buyer that you're going to show houses and you got to juggle it and we figure it all out. And like, no. And the amount of hours. And also I put pen and paper to it. So, well, okay, I've had sellers, I've had buyers. Who's brought the better ROI to my business? And when I sat down and said, yeah, okay, well, on the seller side, I'll be straight up. The seller side's really competitive on commission. Really is. But when I look at what the ROI is, the sellers won hand over the buyers. Yeah, I might have made a higher GCI in the on the buyers than I did on the sellers, but I could scale the
Yeah.
sellers infinitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Outbound marketing, super crucial for sure. That's definitely where, when I first started, I just dove right into it. And I think people that are scared of doing it, once they actually see the results from it, or I actually run into people that you made a big difference in their life because you actually reached out to them, right? Like there's one of my first clients, literally from outbound marketing. Unfortunately, the husband just passed away this past week. But it's just really like, just like you build such a relationship with these people, right? But it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have the guts to make that phone call, right? And then I've had even people break down on me on that initial phone call, like, I can't believe you just caught me at this perfect timing because this and this just happened and I need to sell my house. And then once you experience that, and like, oh my goodness, like there are people out there that needs our help, and I just have to sort through them to find that people that's going to value me, right? So definitely agree with that. But Joe, you know, yes, you could have, if you won back time, you could have done, but you've done pretty well for yourself. Watching, Joe knows his stuff. He's been in the industry for 5.5 years, doing residential, commercial, absolutely crushing on all levels. You know, you've capped all last 3 years. 2022 close to $400,000 in GCI, right? So he knows his stuff. For people that want to learn more from you for residential, commercial, or want to learn more about LPT, whatever it is, where could they reach out to you? Where can they find you?
Well, just to unpack what you just said there, one of the things that I love doing is helping agents, right? I was part of the eXp mentor program. And now that I have my broker's license and such, the way I feel about it, that I want to bring more value to the agent. So where you can reach out to me, I mean, certainly you can call me. I'm always answering my phone, and that's 713-876-2930. Or you can send me an email, and that's ferrersoldit@gmail.com. Either way, you can reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help and provide more information.
FERRER sold it at Gmail.
Correct.
Sweet. Awesome. And then you just started a YouTube channel as well. So for those people that want some tips, he's got a great YouTube channel. What's that called?
The Agent Help Desk.
Yep. Like he said.
I like that name. I was struggling on what to call it. I thought, oh, let's call it a help desk for agents.
So there you go. Well, thank you so much for jumping on, Joe. I am super excited to grow together and see where this takes us.
Absolutely. Thank you for today, for the phone call and the interview and all that. I appreciate you, man, and look forward to growing a business with you.
Sounds good, brother.
Have a good one.